Did I do that? I think I'm gonna do it like this. Yeah, hit him with that neck action. All right, pink shirt. Real men wear pink. Ho 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 ho. Well, rising family, welcome to another edition of Your Reminder to Self. I am Ahmad Brown, aka Pharaoh Brown, aka the Meditate Guy, aka you. How y'all doing today? So for today's Reminder to Self, let's talk about the Lion King. So, did you see it yet? Did you? Did you? I saw it. The original. No, I did not go see the new Lion King. I may go see it, I don't know. From what I've heard, of course, the central plot points are all the same. So, of course, there are not any new lessons to be learned. However, there are energetic patterns that can be reminded for us all from this movie. This particular story, it gravitated by so many people because it actually is using some very, very poignant occult or spiritual truths as it relates to the development of the psyche. And the movie itself was a huge cultural phenomenon because the movie itself actually touched upon all of the major psychological developments that happen within every single individual. And because of the universal nature of the film, it has that universal appeal where everyone just seems to jump on it. Certain cultural events happen like this on a regular basis. Well, I won't say a regular basis, but there is a certain phenomenon that does exist when certain psychological tenets of development or change are literally swirling in the environment, and everyone is invited to come deal with this energy or confront it or to grow from it or simply just have whatever reaction that they make. And so as it relates to The Lion King, I find it not a coincidence that the movie debuts while we're in the midst of one of the biggest retrogrades in known modern eschatology, forget all the big words, known in modern history. As we understand, or don't, for those who do, we know that this retrograde is a big tsunami of energy that's chaotic and causing harm and distress, and oh my God, all the planets are leaving. But for those who don't know, a retrograde is simply nothing more than the magnetic push and pull that the planets have as they spin around the axis. As they spin, they all have different speeds that they spin around the circle, as well as different circumferences because they're, one spins around this big, one spins around something that big, this and vice and so on. So as the planets actually spin, as the planets are approaching one another through their different speeds, the energy becomes more attractive and different opportunities may open up. And as the planets pass and begin to go away from each other, different energies will begin to constrict and opportunities and situations may end. And so as we understand this retrograde that we're currently in, there's about, 6, 7 different planets. I do know, but I just don't care because it's not that big a deal if you really know the truth of your own nature as an all-powerful being. But anyway, in the midst of all of this energy, there is a big pull happening. There's a big shift that may be taking place where multiple types of energies are closing up for this season. So the doors are closing. It's closing time. Open up the doors and into the world. Yeah, that's a hit right there. That's the type of energy that is simply taking place. There's nothing more than a shift. Certain doors are closing while others are opening, but it may seem extremely chaotic because there'll be a shit ton of doors closing. And as these doors close, the final output of those energies will come and maybe try to just do a little spurt right into your daily life. So as you may have experienced, there may have been people popping up out of nowhere that you probably don't want to talk to, trying to talk to you. There may be money situations that you may be dealing with that you don't want to deal with. There may be some type of change that you just weren't expecting or that you've been putting off, whatever, that you are now confronted with, and you got to deal with that imbalanced energy. And so, all of that, what does this have to do with The Lion King, you say? It has to do with the hero's journey in overcoming, or the hero's journey in transcendence, or the hero's journey in transformation. As we know the story with the Lion King, everything starts off all hunky-dory and well, and everything is perfect in the Pride Land. And look at the kingdom, and look at the new son, the new prodigy, the fresh new energy that has entered into the world. This same lovely, wonderful energy learns from his father, learns from his mother, learns from his Pride Land, creates a sense of pride for his own self, and begins to grow in strength and grow in stature. Then, boom, the challenge comes to where everything that once was previously established gets completely torn asunder. And the young prince, the young lion, has everything that gave him value, that gave him identity, that gave him esteem, that gave him quote unquote power, was taken away. And not only was it taken away, he was cast out of the place that gave him his titles, his powers, and his stature. And as he's cast out, he must go on a journey to refine himself, to conjure up, or to go within and to really find the true authentic expression of his own self that is apart from all of the expectations that were given to him as the prince. He then finds his own self, recollects his power, is transformed as a new individual with a new cause and a new identity, and then returns home to fulfill his purpose and to demonstrate himself as changed before everyone else. This story is a universal story of the hero. This isn't a story of the Lion King. This is the story of virtually every metaphysical figure that you know that has a birth, a life, a death, and a possible rebirth. Every single figure that we know of in the pantheon of gods, there is a Simba-like character. There is a Mufasa father figure. There is a challenge of a challenge of what was the little other lion's name? Anyway, in the challenge of his uncle. All of these things that were laid out in place are the daily challenges that we face. They are the life challenges that we overcome. They are the things that all of us must confront in order to transform, to become greater versions of ourselves, to become more authentic versions of ourselves. So I actually find it not a coincidence that this movie just so happened to arrive right smack in the middle of the retrograde, or right as the retrograde is starting to dissolve in and of itself. Because if here's one funny opportunity or one funny realization that we all can take into account as it relates to these cultural phenomenons that get displayed right in front of us. The powers that be, quote unquote, they do these things in front of us, or they put these things out in front of us because they actually do not want us to change. They do not want us to actually get the most out of the potential transformation that can come from a retrograde. They actually want us to sit down, fall into it, have disastrous things happen to us, and then instead of actually becoming better, transforming and embracing and facing those things and dealing with the heavy weight that comes with the transformation, all of that emotional energy that got sent back to us, or all of those situations that raised up during the retrograde, instead of facing them, we go say, man, that was hard. Man, this week was hard. You know what I'm finna go do? I'm finna go zonk out on the Lion King. So instead of actually taking the symbol that's right before you in the Lion King movie and using it for your own empowerment, you may make the mistake of worshiping it instead. You may make the mistake of falling into the hypnosis of seeing your own story being played out in front of you by someone else. And so because you may actually fall into that gap or into that trap to where you watch your own story being fulfilled by someone outside of you, you can mistakenly send these subconscious signals to yourself that you've already done everything. And the funny part about it is your subconscious self will accept the fact that you have done whatever, even though in the real world you have not made any actual change. So you will then miss the opportunity to cycle your energy, to transform yourself, and you will just go right back into the same situations with no change, with no empowerment, with no development, with no new ideas. So to keep it simple, use the Lion King as some inspiration for you. Don't use it as just entertainment to turn your brain off as a distraction for the kids because you're tired of the kids. Watch the movie, and if you're gonna feel all of those emotions, if you're gonna jump on that roller coaster and take yourself down the hero's journey, don't just watch your story. Take the lessons in that movie and become your story. The Lion King is a perfect example of how you can grow, how you can transform, how you can face your challenges. And just as the movie showed, if you go headlong into it, if you really hit the pavement and really go and look for that self-exploration, you will find that new identity. And not only will you find that new identity, you will be empowered and you will be able to go back to whatever situation that caused you harm, and you will be able to heal it. You will be able to transform it. And hell, if you don't need to go back, you will finally be able to move forward with your life and create whatever it is that is truly designed for you. So, for this Lion King moment, this Lion King energy, take a practice in embracing it. Look up the image of the lion and understand its shamanic universal term, that it is the symbol of strength. It is the symbol of aggression. It is the symbol of power. You have it, so put it to use. And also, not only is it a symbol of power, it's also a warning sign of trouble that may be in your circle, that may be in your area, that may be around the corner. It's simply a reminder to be alert, to be keen, to be sharp, and to be ready. This is an opportunity for you in this retrograde to bounce out of the foolishness and literally slingshot yourself forward with so much force, so much motion, so much energy that you can go right to the place where you know your kingdom resides, right to the place where you know your wealth is, right to the place where you know where you will be accepted for who you truly are and not for the mask that you put on for other people. This is the opportunity for you to collect your energy and become your own Lion King. So, go get it, family. You got it. 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 Turn up. Go be great. Go be a king. Be that lion. This is your reminder to self.